Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Siriana Tarot. This is going to be your twin flame reading from October 21st through the 28th. Before I get started, I'm just going to ask that you guys go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to ring that notification bell so you guys get messages whenever I upload any new content. I'm going to give you guys a little introduction of the energies that are at play this week. But if you want to skip on over to the reading, you can check the description box for the timestamp. Also, if you want to get your hands on the decks that I'm using, or if you want a private reading, all that information can be found in the description box down below. So let's get into this. So first of all, in the backdrop of, this season, we have Mars and Mercury retrograding. Okay, so they're continuing to retrograde. As many of you guys already know, Mars retrograde is about upgrades and processing for the masculine collective, Aries people. And it's also within each of us, since we all have masculine and feminine energies. It's all about our own karmic blueprints. Sexuality and action are also getting upgrades and purges. Now, Mercury in retrograde is traveling through Scorpio. And it's stirring up and purging communication and thinking around the unconscious, power, secrets, sex, and transformation. So these retrogrades definitely can complicate matters, but try to use different methods, okay? Try not to do what you've always done, okay? Go within, go deep, and try to resolve the emotional and energetic sides of a situation. So that what happens in your outer world will flow much more smoothly, okay? So retrogrades are stirring up past hurts and karmic attachments for a reason. It's so that we can heal and clear them. So don't just wait it out, you guys. Just don't grin and bear it. Really try to work on healing and clearing. So last fall, Mercury was also retrograding in Scorpio, so it's likely that you're being faced with some of the same issues that you were last year, or there may be recurring issues or triggers from last fall. It's important that we really stay aware of our thoughts. We listen to ourselves, because what we think, what we focus on, and what we speak is what we manifest. Okay, so the most important thing you'll ever hear is what you say to yourself. And oftentimes we forget that. Also, interestingly enough, we have Juno. It's the asteroid of marriage and soulmates, and Mercury retrograde in opposition to Uranus retrograde. So we're still going to be dealing with the evolution and refinement of our perceptions of marriage and unity. And this is something that we're carrying with us from last week. We have to look at what are our motivations for romantic union. What does coming together with a partner mean for us? What can we really expect from another person, or what do we expect in that partnership? And what are our motivations in seeking a romantic union? Because sometimes we don't even think about this, but now is the time. So if we seek unity out of a desire to control someone or out of fear, all right, then we definitely will lose them. All right, if we have fear-based thinking, we're only going to attract more and more experiences of not being married, not being in union, and not being in a secure relationship. So it's really important that we clear these fears and insecurities. And for those of us on the twin flame journey, remember that twins, you guys are already married. All right? If you guys can focus on this, focus on love, and bring it up, you will be able to bring it about in the physical. We also have Venus in opposition to Neptune in retrograde, so this is going to create a little bit of fogginess, confusion, but we're also getting these heightened spiritual experiences and twin flame dreams. So you guys, pay attention to your dreams. All right. The challenge with Neptune retrograde is that there are a lot of illusions involved. We also have, with the female twin or the feminine twin, maybe trying to force love to happen from an entitled or demanding point of view. Okay? And this can be a little bit of coming from a place of anxiety of not being in union. And the true divine feminine does not seek to push her control or her counterpart. So if you guys have been listening to, the love readings I've been putting out this week and, over the last couple of weeks, I really oftentimes bring up the energy of the Empress. And the Empress doesn't chase, she doesn't push. Okay, the divine feminine and the Empress energy, which is the embodiment of the divine feminine in the tarot, attracts the divine masculine, whether that's a male or female. Remember, we're not talking gender, we're talking energy. She attracts the divine masculine with her spiritual power of alignment. All right, so Neptune is asking us to question ourselves. And are we acting in a way that's gentle and inviting when it comes to love? And are we in an internal state that's aligned with unity? Okay, so remember, you can affect the whole dynamic just by how by your inner work, how you're behaving, how you're feeling. All right, so demand, conflict, blame, or any other state of anger or fear or negativity are going to be aligned with separation. So if that resonates with you, then it's time to start doing that inner work. All right, just don't feed into these feelings of opposition. Okay, this week we have the sun moving into Scorpio, so we have a focus on depth, intensity, passion, and transformation. So life and death are important themes. And, as nature is shedding her life in the northern hemisphere, and essentially or metaphorically dying, only to come back again in the spring. So the old fades and the new prevails. And this is very scorpionic. Scorpio is associated with the phoenix rising from the ashes. And those of us who are on the ascension journey are fortunate enough to experience the death of our old self and the rebirth of the new. So this is all part of the twin flame journey. Our perspectives need and will likely change. Okay, it's a natural and sacred part of the twin flame journey. So this alchemy, the ending and the new beginning, okay, is a natural and sacred part of this journey. Okay, so I repeat myself. So let's go ahead and jump into this. I am going to be reading your energy on the left, your person's on the right, and we're going to see what's going on between you. Feel free to swap the energies at any given time. Okay, so one side is going to be divine masculine, the other divine feminine, although you can swap the energies. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull some oracle cards followed by the tarot, and let's see what's going on, what messages are coming through. Okay, we've got mourning. This came out last week. We have in hiding. Ooh, look, this is very sort of transformative though, because we see this either becoming pink or becoming white. All right, and we get autonomy. Ooh, okay. Yeah, you guys, I'm going to be reading this side as the divine masculine and this side as the divine feminine as originally planned. All right, look at that. Overall energy is truth and authenticity. All right. Nice. I like these energies. Okay, so on the divine masculine side, we have mourning. The divine masculine, I feel like the divine masculine is taking a break. Not so much that the divine masculine is in mourning, but the divine masculine knows that he cannot be in union at this point in time. Why? Because he's mourning the death of his old self. The divine masculine is going through this massive transformation, upgrade, purge, detox process, okay? And cannot be there in the physical. But again, right now, we have the divine masculine and the divine feminine can be in union in the remote soul planes. And the work that needs to be done on each side is internal work. Okay, so remember, as within, so without. So finding that balance, finding that love, not trying to control, okay, not wanting to be in union out of fear or some sort of control, not blaming the other, not angry with the other, not frustrated with the other, okay, is what's going to bring you into union. The divine feminine seems to be doing really well. We get autonomy. The divine feminine is holding space for the masculine as he goes through this process. And you can see she's going through a major glow up and a major ascension process. Now, we do have, there is an aspect here with Lilith, and it will talk about the shadow side of the feminine. Okay. So again, the feminine, needs to really make sure that she or you are in this sort of state of peace, of harmony, of being receptive, not trying to push, not trying to say, hey, we need to be in union out of a need to control, or out of any sort of fear-based thinking. But it doesn't look like it to me. She looks amazing. She's beautiful. She's glowing. She's doing the inner work, and most likely because she's fought hard through those shadow aspects I was just talking about. Now, in between, you guys, we've got in hiding, but what I'm seeing here is that this separation is taking place right now so that each, the divine masculine and the divine feminine, can evolve, can do the inner work that's necessary so that they can eventually come into union. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull some tarot. Messages, please, for the divine masculine. More information, please, about the divine masculine in mourning. The divine masculine is also going through a huge paradigm shift. Both are going through transformation, but particularly the masculine Aries people, and then all of us within. But mourning the old self is what I'm getting. All right, we get conflict and competition, 5 of Wands. Okay, we get judgment. Wow. Struggle is real for the divine masculine. Strength. But he's showing up, you guys. And when I say he, I'm not talking about gender, okay? And stalemate and indecision. Yeah, so there's still some work to be done. Okay, you guys, what I'm reading here, what I'm seeing is that the divine masculine is using all of his strength, his will, and his power. We see that here. Restraint. The divine masculine wants to come rushing towards the feminine, but understands that there's this conflict within. Okay? There's this karmic review. The divine masculine understands what he has to do, that he's going through this transformation. And if he wants to ascend, okay, if he wants to ascend, he's got to pull back. He's got to take this time to heal and clear and process. And he knows that he cannot rush it. Okay, but I do get that there's this sense of regret. It's very difficult for him, the Two of Swords. There are two, the Two of Swords is about two very positive directions. But knowing, okay, do I stay on my path? Do I continue through this death and rebirth process with this Mars in retrograde energy? Or do I go running to the divine feminine like I want to? But the divine masculine is understanding that the feminine is also benefiting from being autonomous. Okay, and I feel like the divine masculine may be in hiding right now so that he doesn't have to show his face while he's going through these transformations, but ultimately coming into this understanding that his restraint is what is going to up level him. Okay, what is going to help him up level. All right, and it's not easy. Okay, it's not easy. There's a lot of conflict. There's a lot of issues the divine masculine is working through, and he's torn because he wants to be with his divine feminine. Okay, messages for the divine feminine, please. We get old wounds, the 5 of Cups. Yeah, the divine masculine knows the feminine is mourning, is in mourning for the relationship, for unity. Okay, but at the same time, the divine feminine needs to work through and heal old wounds. All of us do with Mercury in retrograde. All right, Three of Swords. Look at this. Wow. So much heartbreak. So much sadness. 10 of Cups, contentment and joy. Thank you. I love that turnaround there. Oh my goodness. All right, and we get the Magician. Wow, beautiful, beautiful. So in the divine feminine's journey, she has a lot of heartbreak and a lot of old wounds that are going to be coming up right now. For some of us, it's going to be from last fall. Okay, when Mercury was retrograding in Scorpio. For others of us, it's going to be when we were a child, or going back to if you were once in union with your twin, it's whatever has transpired between you guys. And for others of us, it's going to go back many different lifetimes. But the divine feminine, okay, is sitting in her autonomy, in her independence. Yes, she wants to be in union. Yes, she's working through old wounds and she's working through heartache and pain. But the divine feminine is also holding space for the masculine, and she knows that this is the work that's needed, the spiritual alchemy, the ending and the simultaneous new beginning is necessary for the 10 of Cups, for contentment and joy, and ultimately union. Okay? Wow. So there's a lot of wisdom here. Whew, it's powerful energy here, you guys. In hiding, we get the Moon. Ooh, so this is Piscean energy, and Pisces is also that Neptunian energy, so working through illusions, I think, on both sides, but the masculine is also going through a major paradigm shift, realizing that, you know, what he thought of love, what he understood about love and union, he may be ripping through some illusions. I'm also got, as soon as I put this down, the full moon in Taurus on the 31st. Look at that. And then you get the Capricornian energy of the devil. Again, releasing. There's this, remember, if you focus that twins are already in union, or always in union. Okay, always in union in the remote soul planes. But the devil energy, I think also that following on the divine feminine side is there's a tendency to want to hyper focus on unity. And that's why we're really being called with, with Juno, aspecting right now. There's a tendency to obsess. And it's also something that's been culturally bred into us, to obsess on union, on marriage, on matrimony. And so really, on both sides, but I'm picking up more for the feminine twin, really looking at what you want out of a partner, why you want to be in union. What is the true motive? Again, we get the Truth card coming out. Truth and authenticity, needing to take a really good hard look at this, and this Mercury and Scorpio energy. Okay, this Mercury retrograding in Scorpio energy is allowing us to see where we might have these unhealthy perceptions about love and about partners and about marriage, and then also where is our focus and what it is we need to release, because the divine feminine has this three of swords and the 5 of cups, which are very old, deep wounds that can either go back to her childhood or can go back lifetimes with her twin, or many of you may have even had a relationship with your twin and you're currently in separation. Okay, but I am getting here with this full moon in Taurus, there's going to be some sort of breakthrough. There's going to be some sort of enlightenment, okay? And we see the full moon coming through behind that 5 of cups, where old wounds are going to be healed. Okay, also with Mercury retrograding in Scorpio, it's going to be messages. So whether you're receiving these dream time messages from the divine masculine that are going to help you heal old wounds and heartache, or whether they're just messages from people in your past or from your spirit guides that are going to allow you to integrate this integrate this process, this upgrade, this up leveling, and ultimately allow you to release what isn't healthy for you anymore. Here we get the transformation, the card of Scorpio. Exactly. Mercury retrograding in Scorpio. Again, taking a look at what it is we need to shed so that we can start something new. And many of us, it's going to be our perception of unity and marriage and this need to control, to be in union. All right. And again, we have Juno and Vesta, I believe, in Virgo. Okay, and both of those are about really focusing on yourself and being, you know, alone but not lonely. Self-love, self-care, really, really loving yourself, because that is the up-leveling that's needed for this union to take place. Okay. And then we get Emperor, that Aries energy, and it wanted to come out reverse, you guys. And with the Emperor energy, look at that, 8 of Pentacles, work in progress. The Emperor energy coming out in reverse speaks directly to this Mars retrograding in Aries, this detox and this purge to the solar plexus chakra, to Aries natives in particular, to the masculine twin, to our sexuality, to our decision making, to how we view progress, even how we view marriage. You know, there's a certain amount of success that we need to have in order to be at that point where we come into union. Okay, and I'm seeing here that this is going along very, very well with the 8 of Pentacles, but both are a work in progress. But I feel like that more than anything, that's the divine masculine's message to the divine feminine. I want to be there. Whoops, sorry. I want to come close. I want to be in union, but there's some stuff I need to work through first. There's some karmic blueprints that I need to upgrade. Okay, I know I'm pulling back. I may be in hiding at this moment, but I'm using all of my restraint so that we can come together, because if this work isn't done right now, you guys, then it's going to prolong union and unity even longer. And the same for the divine feminine, standing in her power, in her authenticity, okay, in her autonomy, healing old wounds is what's going to manifest her happiness. Okay, and I feel like for many of you, there's something very important that's happening in the full moon in Taurus. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and pull a few more messages for you guys. Okay, we've got passion, beautiful, insane chemistry, like each other equally, having fun. I feel like these are the messages. This is the energy that you need to be visualizing, that you're receiving. Remember that we're going through, you know, there's right now the dream space for my twins is going to be a very, very powerful space to come into union. And so many of you may be having very passionate, very sexy, very romantic dreams. This all is, you know, I feel like it's the way for the divine masculine to reach out to the divine feminine in the remote soul planes, because union can't take place currently in the 3D until this work is done. Okay, so this is more for people who are in separation, okay, than, you know, if you're in union with your twin. Although you could be experiencing these energies, and the distance or the separation may be emotional. Okay, and if you have been experiencing any of that, well, this is why. Okay, now we get the dragonfly, be lighthearted, finding out, things coming to light, adapt, change, and heal. So this is what's going on, you know, in all connections right now. You know, it's important that we raise our vibration, our energy, but we also need to do this shadow work. We can't just sort of grin and bear it and just like wait for this period to be over. You know, there's a lot that's coming to light. There are a lot of old wounds that are being triggered, and this falling on top of the moon card, you know, things are coming to light. And I feel like with this blue moon on October 31st, you're going to see things a lot differently. I love the idea, the message of healing here, because the divine feminine, the shadow self, there are some things that need to be healed that we may have been sort of ignoring or not recognizing until now. Okay, and the importance of adapting and changing, because we're going through this insane transition. Okay, death and rebirth. which is sacred, which is a sacred part of the twin flame journey, you guys. Okay, and then we get talking, interested, conversing more, awaited message arrives, text, call, email, and hoovering. But you know what, you guys, this is what I'm getting. I'm getting that there is something, there may be a message coming to you during this Mercury retrograde, and maybe particularly around this full moon in Taurus. But I'm also getting that there's this conversation going on in the remote planes. So if you guys find yourself sort of walking around the house, or when you're on your way to work, or when you have downtime, kind of having these conversations, but you're not really sure with whom, or they're in your head, this is you and your twin are communicating. Because I do feel like the divine masculine is really, is torn, because he's using so much restraint, because he understands that the divine feminine is working through these shadow aspects and needs to heal and clear. And it's kind of like wants to come rushing towards you, but knows that that's not the best idea. So again, this communication, you guys, this communication in the remote soul planes, this communication in, in the dream space as well. For some of you, it is going to be somebody that reaches out to you. Okay. Keys on a ring, many options, decision, unconventional, string along, one night stand. So what I'm getting here, you guys, more than anything, is that that the divine masculine knows or has this very important decision to make. And I feel like he's showing restraint. He wants to come rushing towards the divine feminine. Okay, he wants to. And the divine feminine might feel at this time as well like things aren't moving the way that she wants. She might be getting a little bit anxious. She might be feeling like, you know what, I'm being strung along here. Okay, whether it's by, twin flame messages, or the idea of a twin flame journey in itself, or if you know who your twin is, you may feel like you're being strung along, but this is the work that needs to be done. And there's a reality here. There's an illusion that needs to be worked through. Okay. And then we finally get separation, sadness, missing you, thinking about you, yearning, unsure of future. Yes. All right. So I am picking up on that. We have the in hiding card in between, the masculine and the feminine. And I feel like both are hurting. Both are missing one another, but there's greater work that needs to be done before union can take place. Okay, so let's pull a few more messages to see what's going on here. All right, we get, I'm finally feeling the consequences of my actions. Okay, I feel like more than anything, this is the divine masculine recognizing the work that he needs to do before he can come into union, and that he knows the consequences will be great, that union will be stalled if he doesn't show restraint and if he doesn't work through this major transition. Okay. I'm also getting, I'm sorry I couldn't do right by you. Okay. So again, I do feel like this is energy coming from the masculine, wanting to be able to show up correctly, in union with the divine feminine. And, up until this point, again, the masculine is saying, I'm a work in progress. Okay, you're both works in progress. The Eight of Pentacles is about focusing on the details, focusing on the journey. And also, with this Libran energy, this Libra new moon that we've just gone through, it's also about focusing on what's best for both. And right now, the divine feminine, in her independence and in her autonomy, needs to heal these deep wounds. Okay? Needs to heal these deep wounds, and is also benefiting, although it may not feel like it, from this separation. All right. We get, I feel badly for the way that I treated you. You didn't deserve that. Okay, so if you guys have been in union with your twin, you know them in this lifetime. This is somebody who's coming in to say to you, they do regret the way things went down. For others of you, it may be a past life, maybe a karmic issue that you have from a past life with one another, okay, and that this union hasn't taken place yet because there is still a considerable amount of a regret, and there needs to be, you need to get to the bottom of it to figure out why it happened so that it can be healed and cleared, because now's the time to do it. You feel like home to me. Yeah, I feel like that's from both sides. And if I knew then what I know now, I would have made different choices. Okay. All right, so healing some karmic wounds between you two. All right, and it doesn't happen overnight. It's a work in progress. And I love this. If we look at the Eight of Pentacles, it's it's feminine energy. The divine feminine working on her shadow self as well. We've been so focused on the masculine with Mars retrograding in Aries, that we forget, that it's a two-way street, and the divine feminine happily over there holding space, staying strong, but also there's some shadow work to do, okay? There's some truths that need to come to light, either about your relationship or about, what needs to be healed, because we've been putting, a lot on the divine feminine stepping up while the divine masculine goes through this transition. All right, so let's go ahead and pull some love and lust messages for you. All right, we get, I'm not the type to tell you I love you. Instead, I show it with my actions. Yep, and the divine masculine is showing restraint and is not showing up until he's completed this transition. I want to spoil you in every way, shape, and form. Exactly. The divine masculine wants to come running towards the divine feminine and can feel the divine feminine hurting as she's healing and clearing these old wounds. Talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words. And you know what? That is a masculine energy holding these roses. There is so much love here, but the divine masculine is like, it knows he can't come towards the feminine until this transition is complete, and it's for the highest good of all involved. Okay? And then we get allow your seductive energy to lure them in. What was I saying about the divine feminine? It's about attracting, and you don't attract by trying to control, okay, or trying to manipulate or trying to force it. It's that Empress energy I was talking about in the introduction. Your erotic vibrations will signal them towards you. Remain patient. They will come. So this union is coming, you guys. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you like how amazing it is as a reader to get these confirmations from this whole reading summed up in these last two cards. Okay, so again, the divine masculine is working his way towards the divine feminine. And as frustrating as it might be, or as painful as it might be, there's work to do on both sides. Okay, but union is coming because you guys, you have the ability to focus on your internal channels, your internal healing and balancing. And this is exactly what's going to be seductive and lure the masculine towards you. This is awesome, because you know what? I have so much faith in the work that you guys are doing. I have so much faith in, in this unity consciousness that you're all moving towards, and really seeing it from a different perspective, from a higher perspective, to do what's best for the both of you so that union can happen and happen faster. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave it there. I love you so much. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a beautiful day. Take care.